Everybody. I'm Shad Chokta, and this is another episode of Football Fired Up. Today, I'll be discussing the latest round of Premier League results. So let's just get cracking on with it. The first one, Everton versus Liverpool, 2-2. What do I think of the performances? So I did watch that game, and it was all right. It was quite entertaining. Lots of rough tackles, as you'd expect in a Merseyside derby. Was 2-2 a fair result over the whole course of the game? You know what? It probably was. The tackle by Jordan Pickford, I think everybody has already said what they wanted to say on that matter. And for me, it should have been a straight red. And VAR, whoever is in charge at Stockley Park or wherever it is, it was an appalling decision. I don't really like seeing challenges that, potentially could be career ending. I think Virgil's quite a big guy. If I'd happened to somebody a bit weaker, could have been a lot worse. So, yeah, Jordan Pickford, lucky boy, no action's been taken. Should he still be England's number one? In my opinion, he's probably just a worse version of Jack Butland. So, no, we shouldn't. But, Gareth Southgate, here we are. That's your decision. Everton, I think that's a good result. They're still top of the league, still undefeated. Liverpool, I think, with all things considered, with their defensive problems, it's not a bad situation, the 2-2 draw. But we'll see how they can kick on and, will they be buying another centre-half in January? A bit unfortunate that they let one go to Wolves just a couple of weeks ago. But, that's life, I guess. So, yeah, next result, Chelsea 3, Southampton 3. Is Lampard going to get the sack? I don't know. He's saying he's selling all these players, but defensively, they've been a horror show. Ever since they've taken over, they've been really, really poor at the back. They concede a lot of goals. Yes, you can see the talent of Havertz, but, he misplaced the pass. Is he getting too much creative freedom? Potentially. Ben Chilwell looked quite good for about 70 minutes, but then, he tired quite a bit towards the end. Kurt Zouma, not great from him. And obviously, Kepa Arrizabalaga, he's going to go. So unfortunate with a Mendy injury, but that's life. On the other hand, for Southampton, I thought they were brave. They had a really gutsy performance. Did they deserve the 3-3 draw? Yeah, they did. If Walker was a little bit luckier, who knows? That shot could have flown into the back of the net and it could have been 4-3. So, yeah, I think it's a good result for Southampton. 2 points dropped for Chelsea, but on the whole thing, I think they're quite fortunate. 3-0 is probably a fair result. So Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0. I think this is probably, in my mind, the game of the weekend. Did it live up to the billing? Probably not. Pep definitely will be the happier of the two managers. And a 1-0 result is probably a fair result. There wasn't that many chances. I think Bukayo Saka had a couple of good opportunities. Very young, creative midfielder. A bit unfortunate. But you know what? There wasn't a lot being created either end. Maybe Ruben Diaz is the solution to Manchester City's problem. They looked relatively solid at the back. And obviously that's without a couple of their key players within the squad. But let's see how they evolve as a team. Arsenal, I'm not sure, Mikel Arteta, apparently there's a plan of how he wants to play. And the Athletic, they've mentioned that he's going to want to change the formation eventually. But, yeah, they just look a bit devoid of ideas from my point of view. So 1-0 is probably a fair result. The next one, so Newcastle 1, Manchester United 4. As a United fan, I'm delighted. Fantastic result. The Luke Shaw goal was a freak goal, so Newcastle were quite lucky in that scenario. I think we saw the best of David De Gea with that save from Callum Wilson. So I think that is the David De Gea that we all know and love. Absolutely incredible goalkeeping. 4-1 is probably flattering, I'll be honest, but they got their lead and they sat back pretty much the whole game. And overall, I do think United deserve to win that game. Obviously, Fernandes missed the penalty, but his finish for his goal was fantastic. Rashford's finish for his goal was fantastic. And Wan-Bissaka's goal was actually really well taken as well. So, fantastic result. Sheffield United 1, Fulham 1. Not a great result for either team. I'm starting to worry a little bit for Sheffield United. The goals seem to have dried up. They're a bit unlucky in terms of decisions consistently going against them. But this weekend, that was not the case. They got the decision, got the penalty, scored the goal, got a point. Fulham, Mitrovic, poor day, misses a penalty, gives away a penalty. What more is there to say apart from I'm glad I don't have him in my fantasy Premier League team. If you do, yeah, it's tough going, isn't it? It's tough going. Crystal Palace won, Brighton won. This was a game I did have a bit of a view on. Yeah, I think Palace, you just know what you're going to get from them. They remind me a little bit of Tony Pulis's West Brom from about 7-8 years ago, was it? They're a bit boring to watch, a bit dry. You know what they're going to get. They're going to work hard, fantastic, but they just seem to be lacking some ambition. I don't really know what else they can do to evolve that team. Brighton, on the other hand, very, very good performance. They got the draw, and what I always say is, if you get the draw, you can then say, potentially we should have won that game, and Brighton will look back and think, you know what, maybe we should have won that game. The Dunks ending off, now that's exactly what should have happened to Pickford, a straight red. Dunks challenge was wild, straight red, and he got what he deserved, really. This is probably the most entertaining game, the next one. Spurs West Ham 3-3. Oof, Mourinho, what's he going to be saying to his players? I saw the interview with Son afterwards, and he looked like he was going to cry. It's sad. It is very, very sad. You take someone like Heung-min Son off, and then that team just capitulated. The energy levels just dropped, and, it's a shame. It's a big shame. I think one of the places I mentioned in the last show was that Spurs need to invest at centre-back. And I said that Daniel Levy would do some creative business, and they've bought Joe Rodon in, and he's not starting. He will get games, but yeah, I don't think the substitutions worked for Mourinho. Winks, not the best player to bring on when you got Souček that you're playing against. Mourinho described him as, I think, Moyes' new Fellaini. And yeah, it was just a really, really poor substitution, really. They got bullied once those substitutions happened. Gareth Bale, saw a little bit of magic. It's a shame about the finish, but I'll give him a few more weeks and we know the goals are going to be happening. I've not even mentioned Harry Kane. Fantastic performance from him. Yeah, I've always said he's a bit basic, but actually, when you score that many goals, he probably was a standout performer this weekend. So, bit of a shame for him. 2 points dropped, and once again, Tottenham have gone from being title challengers to top 6 again. So defensive priorities, they'll probably make top 6. They might make top 4, but it's a shame. It is a big shame. Leicester 0, Aston Villa 1. A 100% record for Aston Villa. Wow. I thought Dean Smith had done a fantastic job after Project Restart. But yeah, this wasn't a result I saw coming. I know they've shored up at the back, but 1-0 away to Leicester is a fantastic result. Ross Barkley looks like the Ross Barkley at Everton. Sort of the least come off, and he's really going for it. I think performance like this, he'll be knocking at Gareth Southgate's door and potentially starting for England again. It's a good bit of business for both Chelsea and Aston Villa, so they might get a man coming back to Chelsea with a bit between his teeth. And I think Barkley's really starting to show what he can do. Leicester, it's again another poor result. They had a poor result against West Ham. It's another poor result. I think at the start of the season, we thought, what, if there's a team that would break into the top 6 and maybe even the top 4 consistently, it would be Leicester. But yeah, they're missing Ricardo Pereira. He's a big influence on that team. And it's just not gone well for them this season. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Not really sure what Maddison is going to provide. Is Vardy starting to get a little bit old? Great result against Manchester City. The hopes were there, but yeah, I'm not sure anymore with them. West Brom 0, Burnley 0. Not a result that either team would have wanted. I think Burnley, at some point Sean Dyche gets them playing, and they'll probably pull away in a few weeks' time. They'll get a result against a few of the bigger teams that we won't expect. West Bromwich Albion, I like Slaven Bilic. I think he's a good manager, but he's got a big job. It'll be a very tough job. If he keeps them up, that'll be an absolutely amazing job. But yeah, it's not a result that either team wanted. Leeds versus Wolves. I actually think this is a fantastic result for Wolves. And that's because Leeds, they continuously pressed, they played their game, they got into the Wolves' spaces, but Wolves stood firm. And I think if any team are doing their homework, this is the way to play against Leeds. Leeds had a corner which they potentially could have scored. There was a nice bit of play and lucky deflection, and they would have scored. But it turns out that Wolves were to get that big slice of luck. Jimenez's shot was poor. Calvin Phillips, little deflected header. It's very sad on Leeds. I don't think any team would have complained with a point, but Wolves will be delighted with 3. And back-to-back clean sheets, I think. So we've not really seen many of these within the Premier League this season. Nunes obviously sold Matt Doherty, and the goals have kind of dried up. He was a big part of that team. Nelson Semedo, he's doing okay. I don't think he was great, but for Wolves, that's another 6 points out of 6. They're going to be looking up, and who knows where they'll finish the season. So it's time for the grading. For Everton, playing against Liverpool, we all know that Liverpool are the bigger team on Merseyside. To get a 2-2 draw, I'm going to give them a B. I'm also going to give Liverpool a B, considering the Van Dijk injury that happened. Jordan Henderson's coming back into the team. Should have had the winner. Marginal decision about the offside, but I'm going to give Liverpool a B as well. Chelsea 3, Southampton 3. Chelsea, I'm going to give them a D. It's a horror show, to let the lead slip up 2-0, and then I don't know. It's just, it's poor from Frank Lampard, and I think the pressure should really be heaped upon him. I don't care if you're signing that many players. You've already got a squad. You could slowly and surely embed players into your squad. Dropped points against West Brom and now Southampton. So yeah, it's a D for me. And for Southampton, I'm going to give them an A because they showed a lot of character to get that draw. Yes, they conceded some goals, but I just like the way Hasenhüttl's got them set up. A lot of energy. They worked right to the final minute. And you know what? Theo Walcott looks like a good signing, actually. He looked lost at Everton, but something's going right for him already at Southampton. So that's really good. Manchester City, I'm going to give them a B. They got the result. Rebound strike. Raheem Sterling doing what he does now consistently, top player. And for Arsenal, I'm going to actually give them a C. Performance wasn't poor. Who knows? On another day, they would have come away with a point from the Etihad. But yeah, it's not the worst. Newcastle United 1, Man United 4. Newcastle, I will give them. This is a difficult one. I think it will be a D, and that's more to do with their naivety in conceding those late goals. They can't do that, and who knows with where they're going to finish at the end of the season. Goal difference could count. Man United, I would actually give them an A. I think the performance was fantastic throughout the game. Newcastle didn't really create much, and I think the one big positive was Juan Mata. He just seemed to roll back the years. His creativity was just fantastic. Him and Fernandes, their passing ability really did shine throughout the whole game. I would actually like to see a bit more of Juan Mata, and if he can perform like that, who knows how many starts he's going to get. So Sheffield United 1, Fulham 1. It's difficult really. I think Ademola Lookman, if he can perform like that, then that's fantastic. So Sheffield, I'll give them a C, maybe actually a D. Now I'm going to stick with a C because they've got their point and they could now kick on. And for Fulham, point away from home, I'm going to give them a B actually. Unfortunate for what happened with Mitrovic, but B is fair. Palace and Brighton, Crystal Palace, it's what you expect from them, so it's a C. Brighton, I'll also give them a C because they couldn't convert chances, and for all the beautiful football they play, if you're not going to score the goals, that's your position's going to be where they are finishing regularly, mid to bottom table. Spurs West Ham, I think the performance from Spurs, it was good. They created some chances and they could have wrapped the game up, but we'll finish with a C for them. And West Ham, shocking for the goals that they conceded. And even though they came back, Lanzini won the strike, I'm going to give them a D. I expect better. Moyes is going to celebrate because, you know, they've got away with one. I want to see that angry tenacity that they showed against a few of the other teams, Wolves, Leicester, even Arsenal. So yeah, I want to see that again. Antonio, fantastic game again. I think he's a fantastic player, and I don't understand why he's being overlooked for the England team. I think he's a really good plan B, plan C, plan D. But yeah, West Ham D, even with the result. They controlled second half, but I think they can do better, and that's why I've graded them harsh. Leicester, we'll give them a C. Villa, we'll give them a B. Performance was an evenish game. And Villa nicked it, so that's why they get what they get. West Brom 0, Burnley 0. I think it was fantastic goalkeeper from both sides. So yeah, I'll give West Brom a C. You know, it's a point at the end of the day, and Burnley a C as well because it's a point away from home. And then Leeds Wolves, Bielsa played the right sort of football. Unfortunate not to get any goals. Unfortunate to concede the goal. So they'll probably get a C. And Wolves, I will finish with an A because that's a tough place to go to Leeds. And they stood firm. There was a lot of pressure, a lot of balls being crossed in. Willy Bolly, fantastic. Probably the most underrated centre-back in the league. All of their players put in a shift, and so they deserve those gradings. That's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your family, friends, the neighbor's cat, if required, to watch these videos. Thank you very much, everybody. Peace.